Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. This is going to be the update for November. I have Mr. Theo here sitting with me. He's being a crazy boy, isn't he? Aren't you? Yes you are, you mama baby. Anyways, I broke a nail this morning. This one right here, it hurt, it's down in the meat, and I was so frustrated. However, I have a new start this month. And no finishes. Well, I have 2 new starts this month, not 1. So, I'm not sure what I'm thinking about there. Well, I guess I kind of have a finish, but it's not completely finished. It'll be completely finished this month. I think I'll have 2 of them this month. As long as I keep making pretty good progress, like I have been on the new start I have. But I will go through and do... like usual, we'll go through whip updates, haul-wise. I think the only thing haul-wise I got is my bead thing over here, but I don't think so, because I think I got that in October. Now I can't remember, but I'm looking around here, and I don't think I got anything new. I don't think so. But, and then I'll do life updates, so that way those of you that don't care about life update don't have to sit and listen. So, first one I'm going to talk about is Bella Filipina, Aquila of the Skies. She is stitched on 28 count, 2/2 with everything that is called for. Her skin is done 1/1. And, of course, the fabric is hand-dyed by me. And here we go. What in the world? Oh, what's that one frame I have? So this is where she is. I stitched on her. What in the world? That's stuck on my buttons. Okay, this video is not going to go great today. It's just not. It's just, it is what it is. And that darn finger, that thing hurts. At least it didn't bleed. But like, whew, I can't even remember what I was doing. I was doing something and it really got in there. Anyways, this is Aquila, Queen of the Skies by Bella Filipina. Everything is completely beaded and back stitched on this guy. Just a little bit more to go and she will be finished. But I'll get you up close here so you can see her and all of her beautiful beads and everything. But I am getting there with her. How many days did I stitch on her in November? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 total days I stitched on her in November, and I know I was down here. If I have a picture of where you guys saw it last month, I will put it in here, but I'm not sure if I do. But, yeah, somewhere in and down here, because I know I was essentially, I think, making a page finish with her. So there's only I think 2 pages left and she's finished. So we will have to see. But that is Aquila. She's almost finished. I don't know, maybe I'll go crazy this month and do a bunch of finishing because the Aquila's almost done. Next one I did is Mirabilia. Lady Justice is the pattern name. Also stitched on 28 count, and it is hand dyed by me. She is also stitched 2/2, and skin is stitched over 1. I know I was working all the way in here. That's what I was doing. I was doing everything in here. And she's not completely beaded in there because I'm still working on this area. Back stitching, I know, is completed with her because all the back stitching was just here up. And, well, again, beading from here up is completely finished, but I've been working on here and getting all this stitching done. I think what I was doing was trying to complete this scarf. I know I got some stitching down here. If I have a picture of where you guys saw it last time, I will stick it up here because I know I did a lot of the beading in here. There was a lot of stuff I did. I know I completed this here. There was a lot of work I did, but I'll get this up closer for you guys so you guys can really see her. And I have a couple people who I know that are lawyers and that I'm going to send this to. But I feel like her fabric's kind of on the short side, but I'm wondering if that's the bottom of her dress there. It probably is. Who knows? Hopefully I didn't screw up and stick her in the wrong spot or cut the fabric wrong. We don't know yet. And I worked on her. How many days did I work on you? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days. In November, I worked on her. And then the next one I worked on, which I'm going to call it a finish because it's a Sal, so, and each one of these I think are kind of like the mini finish, but this is Bella Filipina Mermaids of the Season Sal, and this month, October, came out, and she is stitched with everything called for. The fabric is Singing the Rain by Fiberlicious Yummy Fibers. And normally, you guys know, I do not normally buy hand-dyed fabric. Usually I do that stuff myself. Just because a lot of times these patterns, I don't know, I don't know how to explain it. I like dyeing my own fabric. It's cheaper for me that way. But, so this is them all three together. But this month we worked on Autumn. So there she is, all up there in her glory, complete. All the beading, all the back stitching, everything is finished for her. There's not much else to do with her. There were a couple mistakes I made in here, but you can't see it. It was something to do with somewhere in her skin. I had made a boo-boo. And I can't remember exactly where it was. You can't even tell. But essentially somewhere in her skin, I think I added an extra stitch or something somewhere. And so I had to figure out how to fix all that. And you know what? She looks pretty good. And if you compare her to what everybody else has stitched, it's not noticeable. But all three of them so far. And then we have the fourth one coming on December 15th. So this one will be completed and done. And I worked on that one 4 days. It took me 4 days from start to finish that section. And she's done. As most of you guys know, I was diagnosed with endocervical adenocarcinoma in situ when I was 32, almost 33 years old, and went through a bunch of crap to become cancer-free and in remission. And this past month in November has been a ridiculous amount of time spent in doctor's offices. And this month in December is also going to be a lot of time spent in doctor's offices. So I decided I was going to do a travel project to keep me busy because I live in central Pennsylvania and my oncologist office is in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, as well as my son Damon's ear doctor. His ear doctor is his ear specialist. He had a cholesteatoma in his ear. and had to have that removed. His specialist for that is also in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And with having to travel to Pittsburgh this month for me, well, in November we had to travel there for me, and then in December we had to travel there for Damon to have all of his checkups and stuff done with his ear. So I decided to do a travel project because Abby also has this an eye specialist, which is a lot closer to where we live. It's only about an hour away from our house. But she has an appointment with them to go and see them, and that's a long time to be sitting in the car as well. An hour there, an hour back. And then she also, with her knee problems, every 2 weeks we're going there and we're sitting in the office there. And sometimes we're in those gosh darn waiting rooms for hours on end. So I decided to give myself something to do. So I started, where did I put the bag? I started Rosebud Lace by, Works by ABC. The artwork is by Arlene Cohen. It's being stitched on 28 count, 2/2, and it's hand dyed by me. And I got to stitch on this for 4 days. And let me see here. This one. This is where I got to. It's stitched with, some of it is 2/2, some of it is 1/2, and some of it is half stitches. So, but it's all stitched with the same color. And I figured this works pretty good for me because I don't have to carry around a lot of material. My kids also went to the dentist this month. Damon went twice. So even more time spent in doctor's offices and things like that. But anyways, I took the scenic route and I got lost. And I don't remember what I was saying. But, so yeah. But that is that one. I'm going to show you what it's supposed to look like. Well, let me take it out of this plastic here. Because with all these lights on and stuff, you guys probably want to be able to see. But there is what it's supposed to look like when it's finished. And that is that. But, I remember what I was going at. I found my way. I stopped getting lost. I have taken different times to these doctor's offices and stuff. My large fancy ladies or full coverages or things like that. And it's always nice when other people are like, oh my gosh, that's so beautiful and interested in what you're doing. And that's always really, really cool. But they always want to touch it. They always want to take their grubby, their dirty fingers, and they must touch. And with the hand-dyed fabric for my fancy ladies, and like this, like if I would have to wash this and this thread, I mean, I've rinsed this fabric out relentlessly, so it shouldn't bleed. But if it was going to bleed, I'm not too worried about it because this is all one solid color. So if it gets tinged a little bit in a different color, I don't really think it's gonna matter to me. So, you know, I can wash this if I have to. But yeah, so, and with my big giant fancy ladies and stuff, because there's a million and one different colors in it and things, I don't wash it afterwards because of the hand-dyed fabric and the risk of like the Karen water lilies and stuff like that, bleeding and things like that. I am not running the risk of spending, I know, for me, it's like 29 days on a project, but it's probably the same amount of hours that everybody else puts in their projects. It's just a simple fact that I get to stitch probably about 6 hours a day. So I don't want to run the risk of destroying one of those pieces by washing it and being very upset that I screwed it up and have to start all over, because once I stitch these, well, it's not that I wouldn't stitch them again. There's a couple of them that I've stitched more than once. But Lady Justice is one of them. The one that you guys just saw is the second one I've stitched to those. But I don't want to run the risk of somebody... I gotta move my back pillow up. If I don't have to stitch something twice, I don't really want to. But, I mean, some of these Mirabilias or Bella Filipinas, I don't think I've stitched any Joan Elliott. But or Lavender Lace. I've never stitched any Lavender Lace either. Because most of those guys are like angels and things like that, and it's just not my aesthetic, I suppose. I have some angels in here, but it's not a big thing at my house. But anyways, there's so many to choose from that, you know, I want to stitch them all. At some point, I hope I can, you know, stitch quite a few of them. But I have one more new start, and it is Queen of Freedom. And yes, I started her this month. I actually started her on the 20th. So she's been stitched, I think it's 10 days. And everything from here up is fully stitched and backstitched, beaded, and good to go. And right now I'm working down here to get all of this in. She is stitched on 28 count, and she is stitched on fabric flares, the Pledge of Allegiance fabric, and I'll bring her up closer so you guys can see her. Man, I can never get these things to center right. The only thing that's missing at the top here is she has 3 treasures that go here, so I will put those on last, and that is because I don't want those. These are pretty big treasures. I don't want them to warp that fabric there. But there she is on this pretty fabric and everything I've stitched for her. So I could get down there to the bottom to see where she was going to sit at the end. But there she is. Isn't she beautiful? I love her so much. My husband is obsessed with her. And I know I wasn't supposed to start any new starts, and I wanted to get a much more finished. But Tammy got her finished. And I think I saw this pattern go up again, and it was like $350, almost $400 for this pattern. And honestly, that gives me anxiety knowing that, I mean, I know that she's the original pattern because I made a working copy. I got it. I made a working copy. I put her original pattern all back the way it was supposed to be, back in this plastic sleeve that Tammy stores hers in. And I put them in a place. I put the pattern. It's actually up there in my fabric box that I showed you guys, where I know that nobody in my house, it sounds ridiculous that I'm being this protective of this pattern, but nobody in my house has any reason to get in that box. There's no reason. Vincent can't reach that box, so I don't have to worry about him, you know, opening, like where I store my patterns at. Vincent could open that drawer if he really wanted to, and he could get in it and bend stuff, which is why I didn't stick it in that drawer. Vincent is my nephew, for anybody that doesn't know, and he is almost 3. So you got to be careful with that one. And I get him today. Today is Monday, December... what? 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th? I think today's Monday, December 4th. Whatever. It doesn't matter. But I get him today, and you guys will be seeing this video Wednesday. So whenever I got that pattern, like I was like racking my brain because I've seen how much these patterns are going for. And Tammy is she hasn't stitched a lot of the majority of the patterns that she has. She hasn't stitched them all, but she's more so like collecting all these patterns. So for her, it's another hobby. So the fact that I never in a million years thought that she would even let me borrow it because of how protective she is of these patterns. And I know I've told you guys this stuff so many times. You guys are probably sick of hearing it. But whenever I saw how much this pattern was going for on, I think it was on one of the buy, sell, and trade pages. And I think it was $350. Like, that makes my stomach turn because it's just a piece of paper. And then it was only like a couple days later that she was like, hey, I'm finished. I'll, if you want to stop and get it at some point, you know. And like, she's given me strict instructions of like, don't over crease the pattern and make part of that pattern come off, you know, like don't do this, don't do that with it and everything else. So if there's other OOP patterns that she has and she's going to be willing to lend them to me, I'm going to treat this thing like it is a piece of gold and that I must protect it with my life, that it is the most protected thing in my home. So I racked my brain and it sits up there and it's going to stay up there because I am not going to break her trust with this. But she's not like that with just her OOP patterns. She is the same way with all of her patterns that are memorabilia. Because like I said, for her, these are like collector's items. So she has all of them, no matter what. She takes pristine care. And I don't think I've ever seen her let anybody borrow them. But the fact that she's letting me borrow it is a great honor. And hopefully by keeping it protected and stuff, she will let it go. But can we not get over? I mean, I can't. She is absolutely perfect to me. And then you see my little face peeking out over here. Hello, everybody. But yes, I love her. And she did say that she was back into beating Lady of the Flag. But she's kind of like alternating it and something else. So I'm not sure when I'm going to get that pattern. But I'm really excited to stitch that one too. So we will see. But this is my last whip I worked on this month. Last one. And I can't get over it. And I didn't want to take her completely off this frame. Just because it's a pain in the butt to take them all off the frames. And the other ones were already off their frames because I think I'm using, I don't remember why I took those ones off their frames. But they're off for some reason, but I don't remember why. But that is the last whip I have. As for haul, I don't think there is any. I don't remember. Oh, I do. I did end up having to buy more of these crystals that go on the Queen of Freedom. Because I don't know if when I ordered it, if at that point they didn't have as many as I needed, or if I lost some somewhere, which I don't know. But I was short a crystal for her. And I know that, I'm pretty sure Lady of the Flag has the same ones. A couple of the same treasures as well. But I'm not sure where they went or anything. But I couldn't find them. So I had to buy a couple more of those. So that way I had them. But other than that, no, I take that back. I bought new scissors. These ones are These ones have peacocks on them. And this one has dragonflies on it. And then the other pair, it looks just like this, except for it has butterflies here and here and here. And it's the same. But it is in my travel bag that is in a closet. And I don't feel like getting up and getting it. Sorry. But that's where it is. And let's check here. No, I don't think I got anything else. I'm thinking. No, I don't think I got anything else. Nope. Not that I can think of. Anyways, as for life update. Well, I went for my yearly checkup to make sure that I'm still in remission. It's a trip the whole way down to Pittsburgh. It's a long day of them poking and prod at me everywhere underneath the sun and taking samples and doing scrapings and all kinds of stuff to make sure that I am still cancer free. 2 years down, 18 more to go before I guess they would officially announce me cancer free. I don't know. I was just told that after I had all that done that for the next 20 years I had to go down and have all this stuff done every single year, which is not fun. It hurts like crazy. And listen, I'm a big giant wimp when it comes to shots and stuff. So all the blood work and everything like that, excuse me, attack of the freaking yawns. Oh, every time. Like people say about like Flosstube, itchy nose and stuff like that. Not me. Nope. I yawn. I don't know what the heck it is, but I yawn all the time. Anyways, shots, blood drawn, IVs, things like that. So you can imagine like my chemo journey was an absolute freaking nightmare for me because every couple days going back down, and it was just, I don't even want to talk about it. It was the worst thing in the world, and I begged for a port, but there was no point of the port because it was only, what was it, like 3 weeks? I don't even think it was that long. But it was a nightmare, and every time I go down there for all these rechecks and stuff, I know the internal exam is going to be very, very uncomfortable because, again, they're doing all the scrapings and everything and stuff there to test to make sure that there is no abnormal cells again that could be precancerous, which I pray to God there never will be. But that's a nightmare for me to deal with. But it's also all the blood drawing and everything else. I hate every part of it. It is not any fun. But the good part about it is that I have fibroidic cysts as well as some other lumps that they're not exactly sure what they are, but they're positive they're not cancerous. But every single year I also go, I don't get mammogram done yet because I'm quote unquote not old enough for that yet, so they wouldn't be able to tell, so it's done through ultrasound. So whenever I go down and get all my screening and stuff done for my cancer, then I also deal with all the breast cancer related stuff that I have to deal with as well, because that also runs in my family. Because, why not? But so yeah, it's a progress. I got all my results back. I am still cancer free. And after my husband and I left down there, I looked at him and I said, 2 years down, 18 more to go. And he's just like, you would be the one that's like counting down the years until this is over with. And I was like, well, yeah, because it's not any fun. Like, let's have you have parts lopped off and then that area be very tender and sore, and they have to go in there and scrape everything, and it's not any fun. But he was there the entire time, and of course, I had a tear leak out as they were doing the scraping and stuff, and he reached up and wiped it off and gave me a kiss on the forehead and was like, I'm right here, don't worry about it and stuff. And I do have a very sweet husband and lucky in that sense, and I can't thank him enough for that, because sometimes that's really what you need, is that support. What else has been going on? We had Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving was actually pretty good. I didn't cook this year. Usually I cook for my family. I'm going to be cooking Christmas dinner this year. But I decided this year, like, I didn't want to do Thanksgiving and Christmas. Like, there's been something going on with me, and I'm not sure if it's just, related to still all the effects from, I feel like it shouldn't be that. It's been 2 years. And all my, as they were testing for everything else, they also check your white blood count, cell count, and everything else. And I'm finally back to my normal levels for everything. So that is great, but I have a sucking immune system to begin with. So my husband will come home with a slight sniffle, and then I'll be down for the count for a couple days. And it annoys the ever-loving crap out of me, because it's like, keep your germs out and away from me. I don't want to get sick. But anyways, I've just been feeling, I don't even know how to describe it. Like, it's more than just fatigue. It is like, I'm gonna yawn again. Excuse me. I guess I want to say, like, chronic fatigue. Like, I go to sleep, I'm tired. I wake up and I feel like I haven't slept. And it's not like I'm waking up, like, yeah, I wake up like maybe twice a night to go to the bathroom. But literally, it's not like I'm awake for hours at night. I get up, I go to the bathroom, I climb back in bed, and I get all snuggly warm, and I fall right back asleep. So, like, literally, I might be awake for 10, 15 minutes max before I'm falling right back asleep. But it's like chronic fatigue. I am tired constantly. And my husband's always like, well, if you're tired, go to sleep. And it's like, well, yeah. Like, I literally, I get up, I get all my stuff done, and the entire time I'm doing it, like, I'm hating myself, because I am that exhausted constantly. I'm gonna yawn again. Sorry. But, and then whenever I talk about it, I make myself even more tired, obviously. But it's chronic fatigue, and I'm gonna make an appointment with my doctor's office so they can, figure out, one of my subscribers, I believe her name is Veronica, if I remember right, I had suggested maybe my vitamin D levels were down, but it could also be like my iron levels are down. But I feel like they did all that blood work. I feel like but then again, that might be a different blood test and they may not notice, but you know, whatever, poke me some more. But I just want to get down to the bottom of, like, what is going on. It's ridiculous that I'm this tired all the time. And then, like, if I have Vincent, my husband will come home and he's just like, you literally look dead on your feet. He's like, go lay down on the couch, because I'll refuse to go upstairs and go to bed, because then, like, it just, you know, it's no life to lay around and sleep all the darn time and feel this tired and constantly. So, you know, I've got to call my doctor today, because they weren't in this past Friday, and I wasn't able to call them last week and stuff. So I'm going to get a call into my doctor's office and have them get me in and figure out what in the world is going on, because I cannot take this any longer. I know one of the side effects for one of the chemo meds that I was on, don't ask me which ones they were, because I don't remember anymore, and it's all in my charts. So if my doctors need to know about any of it, it's all in my gosh darn charts. I wouldn't be able to remember. I can't even remember the exact date anymore that I was diagnosed. I know the first call I got was sometime in June of 2021, and the second call I got that confirmed everything after all the biopsies and everything was in July of 2021. The exact dates, I don't even remember anymore. I know my first surgery was in September of 21, and then my second surgery was in November of 2021. But that's as far as we get. And so But I know one of the side effects for those medication, one of those chemo drugs that I had to take was fatigue. And when I didn't have to take that one I had to have it, I think it was twice a week that I got that one. No, it would have been once a week because I had to go to three appointments every week. And one was, I don't remember how many. I think there were 3 different chemo drugs. I don't even remember, but one day was like just one combination of drugs, and then the other 2 days was a different combination. And I just remember that once a week, like, I would get that chemo, and I would be okay for, I don't know, probably about 18 hours after, like, the chemo drugs were done being administered, and then, like, just being out of it for, like, 2 days solid. And I'm not even kidding you whenever I say, like, I may have been awake for max 3 hours out of that day, out of the next couple, like, 3 hours out of a day, I would be awake. I mean, it was that bad. My husband would have to come upstairs and wake me up and make sure I was getting electrolytes into me and trying to get me to eat something. But like the doctor had said, just make sure that it was monitoring my temperature, and more so making sure that I was staying hydrated versus eating. I will say that it makes you feel extremely weak. That's the only way I can describe it, is like, not only was I tired, but I was weak. And I don't remember there being much nausea or anything like that, other than like certain days, certain things would make me nauseous. But I was mostly extremely tired. But anyways, I'm going to go to my doctor's and figure that out, because something is not right. And we need to figure it out, because I've never been a person that can just sleep all day. I've always been, this is probably why I get a lot of cross stitching done, because I have to be doing something. And I can't. I've even started struggling with, like, being able to stitch. It's not that I don't want to stitch. I want to stitch. But I'm so tired that it's hard to get the energy, excuse me again, to stitch. And there's times where, I seem, I'm tired, but I'm okay enough that I can sit there and I can stitch for a long time. But not always. And that can be pretty frustrating. But I'm just, like, a lot of times, like, I'll be sitting here, I'm stitching and watching TV at the same time. I'll have conversations, I'll help my kids with, like, their homework, and I can stitch at the same time. I can have full-on conversations with my husband and stitch at the same time, and it doesn't bother me. My husband says I'm a great multitasker, and I'm just like, I guess I'm used to being pulled in a bunch of different directions. So that fingernail looks so ugly. It'll get there. I can't believe I freaking snapped that sucker this morning. Oh, and it hurt so bad. But yeah. So I'm gonna go to the doctor's and figure out what the heck's going on there, because that's driving me nuts. I've had Vincent quite a few times this month, and oh my gosh, last week I had him Wednesday and Thursday, and Wednesday I always have him. Oh God. Or take a drink. Maybe that'll stop the stinking yawning. Anyways, so I had Vincent last week. I had him Wednesday, and I had him overnight Wednesday and into Thursday. And he was just being a stinker. He I don't know. He got that little extra bug in him. I couldn't get him to settle down. He was just ping ponging everywhere, doing everything underneath the gosh darn sun. And so there was no time to just like sit down and relax. He was just all over the place, getting into everything underneath the sun. And he's the biggest reason why we haven't got out our Christmas tree yet. But I want to get out our Christmas tree this weekend and get it put up, which means my living room is going to be a mess because our Christmas tree goes over here. And you guys saw it's called a ladder shelf that my son Damon had made me in shop class 1 year. And it is huge, and that is where our Christmas tree goes. So it's got to move, and then it's got to go over here in my craft cubby, my craft corner. I guess that's what I call it. I don't know, like my craft spot. So it's got to get shoved over here so that way we can put the tree up because we don't have anywhere else to stick the stinking thing. And I just know Vincent he's gonna be ripping. I'm glad that I hadn't bought glass ornaments yet because all my children are old enough. But then I was just getting ready. Lydia was almost 6 when Vincent was born. So she was finally old enough that she understood that you don't, once you put them up, you don't touch them anymore. And I was thinking about buying glass ornaments, but then changed my mind and decided not to. And I'm glad I did because my sister was having a baby. And I've always been I babysat all my nieces and nephews except for one. Her name is Eleanor, but she lives in Germany with my sister and my brother-in-law. So she's been the only one out of the family that hasn't come to all my nieces and nephews call me Aunt Nittany. It started with my nephew Cyrus first because he couldn't, when he was little, he couldn't say Aunt Brittany. And it came out as Aunt Nittany, and it's just kind of stuck. He is 21 years old now, and he still calls me Aunt Nittany to this day, and it doesn't bother me at all. It's just it's kind of nice to hear them say it because it reminds me of whenever they were all little stinkers. And, but I've always been the one that has babysat all of the nieces and nephews and stuff. And it usually makes their moms and dads angry because their kids listen to me better than they do themselves. And they're like, what in the world do you do? And I was like, listen, it's just because I'm not their mom or their dad. That's why they listen to me. It's no special sauce or anything. But they also all know that I have the same set of rules for all of them, including my own children. So it's not like there's any difference or anything. So everybody knows that this is what you're expected at my house. But it's like, it's just because I'm not their parent. But anyways, I had Vincent this past week. And I always have him overnight. Because, like I've told you guys before, that they have, both of his parents work 12-hour shifts. It's just easier if I keep him overnight instead of having to get up at the butt crack of dawn to get him. And he gets more sleep and I get more sleep. So it just makes more sense. I'm gonna yawn again. Sorry. Anyways, he went to sleep right around his normal time, right around about 8:30, 9 o'clock. I took him upstairs to his bed and got him laid down, and we both went to sleep. And then I had a hard time going to sleep that night. And it was, last time I looked, it was around like 11:30 at night before I finally fell asleep. And then he woke up at 3:30 in the morning, and he was a ball full of energy. And because he's almost 3 now, he can climb up and out of his bed now. And, I mean, he was trying to do whatever Nicky wanted to do. I'll go all over the place, do all kinds of things, all that kinds of stuff. And I was chasing him. And I could not get that kid to go back to sleep to save my life. It was 7 o'clock in the morning before he went to sleep. And at 7 o'clock in the morning, I was like, all right, I got 45 minutes before I have to get up and get Lydia off to school. So I did. I went to sleep for that 45 minutes, and my alarm went off, and I was just cursing the world because I was finally, like, getting a decent amount of sleep at that point. Like, I finally got, my God. I finally got a lot, like into a deep sleep at that point before my alarm went off and woke me up. And then I was like, oh my God. But, yeah, so I got Lydia off to school, got her off to school and everything, and got the dogs FEED'd, and got them OUT'd, and, normally Vincent wakes up right around about, 9:30, 10 o'clock, depending. So I was like, all right, I was trying to debate with myself, because Lydia gets on the bus about 8:40 or so. So I was trying to debate, do I go upstairs and lay down and get approximately an hour to a half hour more of sleep, or do I just stay up? And then I was like, you know what? No, just stay up, because if you go upstairs and you sleep for that long, you're going to be even more tired than you were if you just didn't go to sleep at all. So I just stayed awake, and that little stinker ended up sleeping until like 12:15. So I was like, man, I could have went up there and napped. I could have slept. But then, like, he woke up and he was a madman. I mean, he was going all over the place. He was trying to take my throw pillows for on my couch, and, like, essentially he was putting them down on the stairs, and then he was trying to, like, stand on them on the stairs. And now I have the vinyl flooring for my stairs. So, we have certain things placed on the treads of the stairs so that way you can't slip off them and stuff. And so they're pretty slippery. So all I'm thinking is he's going to come flying down there and break his neck, or, get seriously hurt. So, like, there wasn't even like I could, cause a lot of times, like, he'll wake up and, like, he'll want to snuggle with me, and we'll watch some cartoons, and we'll get some breakfast. And, a lot of the times I can get him to, just, sit with me and hang out with me, and we'll, like, read books and practice our letters and numbers and shapes and our colors and all that fun stuff. But he was, like, having none of it. He was the monster. I mean, he was just all over the place doing all kinds of things. So that made my day even more exhausted. But thankfully last week, because my husband got paid for Black Friday. Why his work pays them for Black Friday, I have no idea. But he got paid for Black Friday, so he only had to work till 3 o'clock, because they don't work on Fridays. So because that holiday falls on a Friday, they have to lose those hours throughout the week, so they're not getting, overtime. And so he was able to get off work at 3 o'clock all every day last week. So he was home early, so he got home, and I was just like, hey, his Nana will be here in like 45 minutes to pick him up. Can I go to sleep? And he was like, yeah, like, you look absolutely wrecked. Go to bed. So I did. I went upstairs, and I was trying to lay down, and I was trying to go to sleep. But this poor little Vinny, man, he kept on squilling left and right, and I could not fall asleep for the life of me. And it was probably about 4:30 before I came downstairs, before I finally gave up. And I was just like, why is he still here? And that's whenever I, like, ended up messaging my sister, because she would have had a break around that time. So I figured, she'll either get it then or a little later or whatever. I was like, hey, isn't Brian's mom still picking Vinny up? And she was like, she must have forgot. So yeah, we ended up having Vincent until 7 o'clock that night, and I could not fall asleep. And then when bedtime came, it was like I got this, like, second wind of energy, and my husband was like, you went to bed looking tired and exhausted, and then you're, like, wide awake right now. Like, what's going on? Usually when you're this tired, like, you crash, and you crash hard. And I was like, I don't know. Like, I could go outside, and I feel like I could go outside and do a lap around the house right now. Like, I feel pretty good. What else is there to tell you about? We've made significant progress on that house. It is almost fully mudded. We should be able to sand this coming weekend. We should be able to sand and be done with it. And then we should be able to move on to painting everything, getting that done. And then once that's done, we should be able to put flooring down. And then once that's done, get the countertops in and get all the light fixtures and everything hooked up the way it's supposed to be. And we should be good to go. The last thing we should have to do would be trim. I think that's it. I think that's all we have left. So we're getting there. But we only get to work on this thing about 2 to 3 days a week. So it's not like we have, you know, a ton of time going, but, you know, we're getting somewhere finally. I have that video, and I will put it in here for you guys. All right, December progress. Wow, I guess November. Here's the living room. She's mostly mudded. Just have to go through all the drywall screws, get those covered up. Dining room is almost finished. And then we have this little closet over here that needs to get done yet. The biggest difference is in this kitchen. This kitchen is pretty much done. We got the cabinets hung up. So all the cabinets are in. Getting the countertops ordered so those can be delivered. And then up these rickety stairs yet. We have the first bedroom here. She's ready to go and be done there. And then hallway is finished. The entire upstairs is completely done. And second bedroom all ready. Closet back there that's all done and ready. So decent size. And then we have the little bedroom all done and ready to go. And here everything's finished. And then one last room, which I guess this one also has a lot of progress too. This is the bathroom. Vanity got installed, and tub and the whole surround and shower and everything is all installed now. And the giant linen closet there, it is huge. You can actually stand in it. It's also finished. Just a little bit of sanding left up here and upstairs, and we still have to do this part of the stairs yet for mud, which is gonna take us a minute, but it's coming along. We're getting finished. It's gonna look good in here. We've got, after taking out all those extra walls and stuff, we've got about an extra 4 inches each direction, so we're good to go now. However, guys, I don't think there's anything else I need to tell you guys at all. I think that's it for this month. And I don't think there's anything else. Let me think. No, I don't think so. I can't think of anything. But thank you for watching again. Please like and subscribe. It's always nice to chat down in the comments with you guys. You can follow me on Instagram if you want to. It's at Brittany Cross Stitches, all one word. Brittany is lower. Everything's lowercase letters. You can follow me there if you want. Feel free to DM me, comment, do whatever there as well, and I'll talk with anybody. I have no problem with that. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.